Hey guys, what's going on? It's Dan Giesing and welcome to another Star Citizen opinion video. Excited to talk to you today about cargo in Star Citizen. In the most recent episode of 10 for the Chairman, Chris Robert took about half of the 50-minute episode talking exactly how cargo is going to work in the later iterations of Star Citizen. And for wannabe space haulers and smugglers alike, there's a lot of exciting things to talk about and exactly how the cargo will work in-game. I know people dream of the riches of being a space trucker, stealing cargo, owning the galaxy, smuggling your most valuable goods and services, or even hauling chunks of ore if you're into that sort of dirty freight sort of thing. So this brings up the question, how is cargo going to be handled in Star Citizen? And it's going to pop up in a lot of different ways. In terms of missions being generated from NPCs, you'll be able to salvage things and find cargo there. You'll be able to randomly find cargo throughout the game. And of course, there's going to be commodity brokers within Star Citizen, much like you'd see in Privateer. But I think it's important to note, Star Citizen is going to be an open sandbox game. So think of cargo as a system within the game where there may not be bounds, right? So you may find cargo in random places, and what you decide to do with them and how you're going to stack it is completely up to you, which I think is an exciting part about this game. There's not going to be boundaries as to what you can and can't do specifically with the cargo of your choosing. One of the exciting things about dealing with a commodity broker, it's going to be set up very much similar to Privateer. In what you see is what you get. So behind a commodity broker, you may see a stack of guns or a stack of a certain type of ore, or a stack of a certain type of liquid, or whatever tradable there is. It's not going to be on a one-to-one level, but from a visual system that's being implemented in game, essentially what you see is what you're going to be able to buy, or you're going to be able to find out, hey, this commodity broker is low on this, so I'm going to sell some to him or her in that fashion. So having a visual representation of the commodities is just going to add another layer of visual fidelity to Star Citizen that I'm excited about. The other thing you're going to see is you're going to see a link between the economy and the commodities, and you're going to see price fluctuations. A long time ago, Star Citizen released a video about how different missions are going to pop up in the economy based on the need for certain materials. For example, say a outpost gets attacked and all of a sudden their desire for precious metals and aluminum and titanium and things to rebuild that station will be randomly generated or automatically generated as a beacon to send out to cargo traders alike, saying, hey, look, in this system all of a sudden titanium prices spike because they need it and there's a high demand for it. So I think having the mission system in game is going to help drive the economy in an exciting way to play, in particular if you want to be a space trucker. And it wouldn't be Star Citizen without pushing the boundaries of what we know of commodity and cargo trading in terms of how are we actually going to be able to move around cargo within the game. And that question, or those answers to that question, depends on the type of cargo you're dealing with. Is it small? Is it large? Are you by yourself? Are you working with a crew? Are you at a spaceport, or are you at a random location? And based on all those factors, you're going to see a wide range of mechanics in place to make cargo delivery actually exciting. For example, say you're hauling a small box of valuable cargo from one side of the planet to another. You're physically going to be able to pick up that item and then put it in the back of your freelancer, load up your freelancer, take off, fly to the other side of the planet, walk out of your freelancer, pick up said cargo, and then physically walk it to whoever requested it or wherever you're going to need to deliver that cargo. It's not just going to be a click of a button. You're going to have to plan out exactly how you want to do that, and it's going to bring up for some interesting gameplay elements based on the dangers and threats to you and how valuable that cargo is. You may even have a lot of small boxes that need to be moved, and that could be a case in which you enlist some NPCs to help or some of your buddies to physically go in the back of your freelancer, pick it up, and move it to where it needs to go. If you're dealing with larger cargo, there's going to be some sort of elements like picture a cargo jack or one of those three-wheeler deals that you can haul around cargo in. It's also mentioned by Chris Robert, it's going to depend on whether you're at a spaceport or at a random locale. So for example, if you're at a spaceport, think of what you might see in a Seattle or a large shipping port where you see those huge cranes that move the shipping containers. There's going to be something like that implemented in game to make automated cargo delivery a thing, but it's going to take time, money, and resources to actually use those facilities. Versus if you have large cargo at a random hidden locale, you're going to have to deal with and find a way to move large cargo on your own, which I think is going to make for some interesting elements, in particular with the large hull series cargo haulers, that you see these ships with massive amounts of cargoes. You can't just expect within Star Citizen to click a button and 100 tons of cargo is just going to move magically from your ship into the commodity broker's hands, and then you get delivered with a fat check. Now, in terms of cargo missions and having cargo missions generated for you and having the ability to access cargo missions, it's all going to be dependent on your level of proficiency within cargo. Now, it's not going to be set up like an RPG where you select certain skills and you buff those skills and work those skills. Chris Roberts said it's going to be more based on a reputation system. So, Jimmy's not going to have you deliver the family heirloom diamonds if you're not experienced in cargo delivering. He may allow you to move Aunt Tilly's tea set from one side of the galaxy to another, but for you to be able to access the high-value cargo missions that pay out a lot, that may be a little bit more dangerous, you're going to have to develop these relationships with NPCs and also essentially your reputation as a cargo hauler in-game, which is exciting. So you won't be bound to not be able to carry cargo around and run cargo missions. Just the value and the high-end cargo missions, you're going to actually have to work to and develop a reputation as a important or proficient cargo hauler to access those level of missions. And speaking of high-end cargo, if you happen to have a Constellation Phoenix, you know that it comes with a dampened area in which you can smuggle certain things. And it's worth noting that a few times throughout the 10 for the Chairman, the terms illegal booze was brought up, or illegal liquor was brought up. So there's going to be certain black market items that are going to provide sort of a dastardly way to get involved in cargo. Of course, with a lot of risk, there's reward, but just having that element in game is going to be an exciting thing to play. Cargo hauling and dealing with the different organic gameplay elements that can come up with the value of cargo, whether you're holding up ships and stealing their cargo, or requesting a bounty as, hey, give me that cargo or I'm taking your life. I just think that's something I'm really excited to play for in the game. It's going to be something that's going to be heavily involved in, and it's part of the system, right? So there's going to be dogfighting and things of that nature, but I think the cargo hauling is going to provide the bones and the substance and the consequence to the game, because you never know what you're going to find. And I think there's going to be times when you find yourself out in space flying around with a valuable load of cargo, and you may get rolled up on by certain members of an organization. And I think this is going to help develop a sense of ownership within the game and really some exciting gameplay elements. I, for one, am really excited to see how the cargo manifests itself and how it all fleshes out in the game, because that's something I'm going to be primarily doing within the game. But I want to hear what you guys have to say. With this recent episode of 10 for the Chairman, the information on the doors to cargo has been blown off the hinges, and I think this is more information than we've ever gotten before. So I'm very excited about this, but I want to hear what you guys have to say. Let me know in the comments below how you see yourself interacting with cargo in Star Citizen and your level of excitement about cargo in the game. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Enjoyed it. Clicking the like button helps out a great deal, and if you want to see more Star Citizen content, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel. I post a new gameplay episode every single day at 9 a.m. Eastern, and of course, you'll see more and more of these opinion videos coming up on a daily basis. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel, and when it's all said and done, watch where you put your cargo, because you never know who's creeping around the corner.